Oh my. Avicii's blaring today. Sock check not on yet. Oh. Oh, I really thought that was going to work. Damn. Okay. What a start to the show today. My goodness. Okay, let's try this again. Hello out there. We're on the air. Okay. Damn, I thought Zapstream was going to work today. That's really unfortunate. Shit key. Okay, well, let me try this. Maybe it's a different stream key. That might be it. Let's give me a couple seconds here. I'm going to try to troubleshoot this live on the air because it looks like Zapstream's working. I did see a bit of bad news on that front, but let me see this. This might work. Yeah, it was a different stream key. Okay. I wonder if it'll work though now. Come on, baby. No, still not working. Shit. Wonder if I should bail out of this and try it. I just don't know if it's even going to work. So I feel like that's a big gamble. Okay, we got the stream key in there. I don't know. That's unfortunate. Okay, let's try this. Maybe this is different. RTMP, no, it's the same. Might not work live. That's unfortunate. Anyways, too bad, so sad. I guess we'll try it again tomorrow. But it looks like it's up again, which is good news. That was the good news. The bad news is that I lost my balance that was on there. What a time to do that. So for like the last year I've been on Zapstream, I've just been kind of topping it up as needed because, you know, you worry about stuff like this happening when you're putting too many sats on one spot that, you know, that's out of your control. Essentially, you're trusting somebody else. Not that I don't trust Zapstream. I just don't trust anybody. So I was usually putting like 1,000 sats on at a time. It would run out every couple of days and I would reload it. And then a couple of weeks ago, it wasn't working. I couldn't fund it. So I was like, you know what? I finally figured out how to do it. I'm just going to put like 15. I think I put 15,000 sats on there. Fuck. Very minor, of course, compared to what else was lost on there, I'm sure. But man, shitty. Overall, very shitty. So anyways, we got a good show today anyways. Killer76 in the chat. Good morning, my friend. Clean your machine. Santino. Happy Thursday, everybody. Ian, Joey. Make today your bitch. That's right. Paul, good morning. Morning, soldiers digging out of a 25 centimeter dump in the city. Ooh. Found some sats. Hey, Paul, I got your email yesterday, by the way. Thank you for the zap. I didn't know that was you until I saw your email, but Paul had a fat zap. I think it was last show to Arnie's wallet. So it's kind of shitty. I don't know. Zapstream, even though like, if you looked at the dollar amount of my zaps every show, it's not much, but to me, it's meaningful. So it's not like, you know, YouTube doesn't pay very well. I don't have a salary. So the zaps are actually, you know, very meaningful to me. So it's kind of shitty that Zapstream is down right now. But anyways, morning, Tom, Letha, Jay, familiar faces in the chat today. Good to see you guys and girls. Bitcoin Buddha, Duncan, Dirty Scant, Buck52, and CW. Can you explain what Zapstream is for us newbies and how to zap? Well, I can't because it's down. We're down, although it seems like we're back. Yesterday, I tried doing this and it wouldn't even load at all. So who knows? It's kind of unfortunate that I didn't see that the stream key was different there. I kind of want to just shut the stream down and try it again just to see what happens, but we'll just try it tomorrow, I guess. Okay, so Letha says I can't stream on Zapstream. It tells me to check my stream key. So there must be still an issue on there. Well, good thing I didn't close out of here then. But anyway, Zapstream is basically just like a video streaming provider. Like I stream on there every morning. And it's connected to nostr, so you can actually watch from a couple different nostr clients like Amethyst and nostr. You can go to a couple different websites, zap.stream, sas.gg. You can watch on there. There's a lot more functionality in terms of like comments, links. You can share pictures on there. It's very, well, there's no censorship, right? You can't say certain things on YouTube. You can't type certain things on YouTube. You can't share links on YouTube. You can't share pictures on there. So this is just a much more functional streaming service. Plus, you can actually send sats. You can leave like a tip. You can send 10 sats, 1,000 sats, 100,000 sats like we've seen a couple times. So it's pretty meaningful for me. So it's unfortunate, but we do still have this. You can do that as well. This is Arnie's wallet. You might have seen him causing some mayhem in the background here. But yeah, it's cleaner. It's cleaner through Zapstream. This works too, though. If you want to just scan that QR code, if you feel like giving some sats to the show, you can just use that QR code, or you can use the actual wallet itself if you want to type that out. So yes, that is that. Max, good morning. Good to see you. Don't turn around, but I think I saw a white wolf in the corridor. Yeah, that's Arnie. That is Arnie boy. Morning, Josh. Josh, I saw a couple different zaps from you in Arnie's wallet and in my own wallet. So Josh sent a zap saying Arnie can't have them all. So I appreciate that. Arnie gets a lot more than me. So we'll see who outlives each other, I guess. We'll see who outlives who. Nolan overlap. What does that mean? Nolan's doing a show right now too? Daniel said he's only on Rumble now. If we're talking about the same Nolan. But we're on Rumble. Shout out to Rumble. I don't know how many people are over there right now, but what's going on, Rumble? Let's check it out. Daniel said you can DM Kieran about my balance. Well, there's only like 10,000 sats. So if he lost a bunch of sats on there, I'm definitely not going to ask him for 10,000 sats. That seems like a greasy move. Just shit. It's just unfortunate. That's all it is, mostly. Very unfortunate timing for me. Oh, man. Oh, well. Whatever. Okay. Oh, what was I doing here? I was checking on the Zappies. No, Rumble. Are we live? Yep. A couple people over there. 3 people. 50 people on YouTube, 3 on Rumble. Good morning, Rumble. Say hi if you're there. I got the live chat up here. Let me know. Let me know if you're in Rumble right now. If you want to continue on Rumble, this sock's really bugging me. It's all twisted. There we go. Okay. What else we got here? We got Jason's in the chat. Good morning, Jason. And Natilius. Nautilus. There's only 2.5 million coins on exchange right now. Isn't that a supply short on the horizon? Yes, that's what we're going to be talking about today. We got some shit coming down the pipeline here that we're going to talk about. Unzip Me. Ooh. It's a crazy name. Good morning. Bodie. Morning, Bodie. Bodie and I usually do shows on Thursdays, but I'm heading into the city today for the day. I got to drop some precious cargo off in the city today. Human form. So me and Arnie got we got the house to ourselves. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to be doing a Friday afternoon stream tomorrow because me and Arnie are here by ourselves. And why not? I'll have some beers. I like those ones. Once in a while, I like the mornings too, because it's good. It's a good part of my routine. It's much healthier than having a beer every day. So, but tomorrow we're actually going to skip the Friday morning show and we're going to do it in the afternoon, have a couple beers and hang out. So that's what we got to look forward to. But Bodie and I will not be doing a Bitcoin generation today. Bodie might be. Bodie, maybe let us know what your plan is for today. If you got to get another guest on, doing it solo, or just rescheduling. Folsom says, more importantly, there's a shortage beginning on the over-the-counters. It will soon have to go to the exchanges. Yes. I feel like it's been happening for a while. I feel like there's something really sketchy happening in Bitcoin right now. I feel like there's a lot of paper Bitcoin floating around. And I don't know what's going to happen on the other side of that, to be 100% honest with you. But we'll see. Hey, Roger. Good morning. Shout out to Roger. We'll call them Roger. Cheers. You would be happy to know. You would be happy to know that I've been using the device you sent me every day. I don't think I missed one day since I received that. So that was pretty cool. Pretty cool gesture from Roger, we'll call them, as the name suggests. And yeah, I got another package coming today. Actually, I got a couple of different housekeeping things here. Lots of exciting things going on in my life right now. Almost, no, I wouldn't say too much, but kind of too much. But we'll go through a couple housekeeping things. But I do have a new package being delivered today, or me picking it up today. And that is from a new company that I'm going to be kind of working with. They're not going to be paying me or anything, but I'm going to be trying out these products. I'm very excited to try them. And if I have success with them, if they are good quality and make any sort of difference to my life, then I'm going to share with you guys. And there'll be a little discount code for everybody, of course. And it's along the lines of health. I got a couple different things right now that I'm working on in regards to health, actually, which to me makes more sense. Like I've had a couple different Bitcoin companies and a lot of crypto companies reach out to me trying to, sponsor the show. But I want to actually push more health stuff than Bitcoin stuff. So I got two different things that I'm going to be working on with, and I actually need a little bit of help too. So I'll talk about that in a couple minutes here once we get through these comments. Good morning, Rick. Good to see you. Rumble. Nobody's on Rumble. Nobody's, their fingers are all broken on Rumble, I guess, this morning. That's okay. You guys can just hang out. Oh, look at this. This is kind of cool. Locksky. I see this on my computer or on my phone here. So Locksky gifted another 5 memberships. Wow. Very, very, very generous. Locksky. Gifted to Ricky Bobby, gifted to Knox Bill, JM22, Simo, and Svensson. All got some memberships from Locksky here. That's awesome. I love that. I love that. And the other thing I was going to say with that is yesterday we did our Q&A. Every Wednesday we do a members only Q&A. And we had some pretty good discussions yesterday. So anybody who got a membership, check that out. You should be able to go to the channel, 88 Sats channel, and you should be able to find a post yesterday that said Bitcoin Q&A 005, and you should be able to watch the full show from there if you have a membership now. So thank you, Locksky, and to anybody else who's interested in checking out yesterday's episode and Q&As in the future. That's the easiest way to do it. Cheapest too. Mikhail, look at that. Sup, you stacking sleuths. Hope everyone has been picking up this discounted Bitcoin. Truth. True. Coke is better than Pepsi. That's true, eh? So the unfortunate thing with Coke and Pepsi for me is my grandpa. He was an auctioneer. I've talked about my grandpa a couple times. He was one heck of a guy. He's been gone for, I don't know, close to 15 years now, probably. But he was an auctioneer, and he a lot of the things that he did and the traits that he had, I think I have some, but he was a big Pepsi guy. He was all about the Pepsi every day. He was just slamming Pepsis and Budweisers. Okay, his mixture. I don't, I love the guy more than probably anybody else that's ever lived before. Well, for sure up there. But he had Pepsi, he had Ricolas, he had Budweiser, and he had Skol. He didn't leave the house with those 4 things. But I agree. I'm a big Diet Coke guy myself. I probably drink too much Diet Coke. Mexican bottled Coke. Yes, those are so good. So good. Kel said, George just picked up my new vanity plates. Sat Stacker. I like that. I like that a lot. Morrow, good morning. Roger says, so happy to hear you're using the device and that it's working. You're looking good. Oh, that's good. Thank you. You're making me blush. But I feel good for sure. It's, especially these 3 months here, January, February, March, they're very hard on the, in Canada here, it's very hard on the mental state, for sure. I've really been noticing it myself. I've been very tired at night and late afternoon even too. I just feel like really low energy, but it makes sense. I'm inside the whole time. There's hardly any sun. I don't get to touch the ground. So stuff like this definitely, helps. Even if it's just a little bit, it helps. So thank you again for that. I was very, very kind, very thoughtful. Lux Guy. Whatever gets sponsored by Trump. Oh, we got another bot in the chat here. Cool. That doesn't even make sense. This stuff. Solo Amigo show. Yeah, maybe one of the amigos will pop on with me. Who knows? We'll see. Maybe I'll have a couple guests on tomorrow. I'll just put the invite out there. I'll send a couple links out, and whoever wants to show up and bullshit a little bit, they can. Should I do that? I don't know. Might be kind of weird, but might be kind of fun. Health and wealth, the only truly scarce resources you have. Healthy time on earth and Bitcoin. Truth. And we got Ryu. Ryu's in the chat this morning. Could make it for the live show today. Right on. All right, let's get to the mempool. Let's see what's going on. Arnie's ripping around out there hard. Some hard rips today for King Arn. Okay. Currently block at 883.591. Fees still incredibly low. 2 sats per VByte this morning. Looks like we got some very, not bad. There's not a whole lot of transactions in these blocks. This one had 314. This one had 559. 881, 655. And last one at 3,700. So it looks like we got a little bit of action in here now, but still very, very, very dead in the mempool lately. And we're still a little bit behind. Looks like we're catching back up. Yesterday we were 32 blocks behind, and we're making a comeback. We're getting our blocks back. Okay, well, big shout out to Arnie here too, because he's kind of been ripping around and whining, but it looks like he's found a little spot to hang out. You good? Are you? Gonna stay there for a bit? Okay. Cool. Thank you. Mikhail said, Jory, your channel's going to hit 10K soon. Love being here every day and watching you and the channel grow. Cheers, my friend. Thank you. I very much appreciate that. We have a very, very, very good community here. I would say one of the best in the biz. You go into any other, I challenge you to do this. You go into any other live chat on the internet, and it's just a bunch of like nonsense, honestly. And the ones I've been in anyways, there's not a whole lot of loyal, like YouTube, especially within Bitcoin, but there's not a whole lot of loyal communities in Bitcoin. But this one's very, very solid community here. And that's what, keeps me coming back, keeps me interested, and very generous too. Between different tools and resources and sats. It means a lot to me for sure. So Let's what should we do now? What should we do here now? What was I gonna do? I gotta, okay, let's get some housekeeping stuff first. I got a couple different things to, I don't know if it's announcements or not, but to talk about. I gotta make sure this email sends so we can talk about some scarcity today. Hold up. What am I doing here? That's hard to do things when you're live. Okay, drafts. There we go. Send. All right. So a couple different things to talk about here in terms of the, you're gonna have to stop that, Arnie. Here, I'm gonna have to shut the door. Stop. You know how incredibly painful that is on my ears? Just stop. You're good. You're good. He can sense something right now. He's pretty smart. He knows that somebody in the house is leaving today, and he's not happy about it. Anyways, a couple different housekeeping things here. So the first one I would say is I want to say thank you to everybody, because the amount of people who have subscribed to this channel so far is honestly pretty mind-blowing to me. It took me, I know we have some, track record, some proof of work into this, but it probably took me almost a year, maybe almost 2 years to get 627 subscribers. So I just want to say thank you. And just in case there's anybody out there who hasn't heard of this new channel we're working on called Maple Bitcoin, it's Forrest from Bitcoin Not Crypto, Rajat from Rajat Finance, and the guy wearing the orange hoodie there, recognize him. But we just posted a new video here last night too, a brand new one that's been posted nowhere else. So these are going to be exclusively on Maple Bitcoin. We were kind of sharing these on each one of our channels, and there's probably some redundancy there from people. So we're just like, let's start a channel. Let's put them all there. Let's get together every week for a live stream to help people, grow in their Bitcoin journey. And that's what we're doing. So it's going to be 100% focused on Bitcoin education. It's going to be a little bit more serious, I guess, than this channel would be. A little bit less bullshit, more signal, less noise, I guess. Not that this is a noisy channel, but I just have different opinions and some swear words and stuff like that. But anyways, this is the new channel. So if you haven't yet, make sure you go check them out. I'll put the link in the chat here if you want to just jump over there. And if you're not already, I'm thinking most people are, but if you're not subscribed there. But this was why does Bill Gates hate Bitcoin? So it's about a 20-minute video. That's kind of what we're trying to do, about 20-minute videos. Plus, we're going to be doing Cleaner Machine here said, do you go live? Yes, we're going to be going live. Except we kind of had unfortunate timing because Rajat's taking a little bit of time off here for a couple of weeks. So we have to wait till he's back in action here before we can go live. But we are planning to do a live stream once a week. So it'll be very much interactive like this, where people can show up. They can, propose different ideas, discussions, ask questions, and we'll just be there to chat. So we got a couple videos every week. We're going to do a live stream every week, and it's going to be 100% focused on Bitcoin education, Bitcoin only. So consider, if you haven't yet, checking out Maple Bitcoin. Second thing that I wanted to share in regards to housekeeping stuff is, so we're going to be, Buck52 says, I saw Bitcoin University just put out a Bill Gates video too. Huh. Interesting timing. I doubt he did it because of us. We posted that actually late last night, 11 hours ago. But it's a good video. We talked about Bill Gates. We talked about other billionaires who own Bitcoin and why there's such a disconnect between them. Why would Bill Gates have one of the most successful tech companies that's ever existed, but fails to miss the biggest technology innovation that has ever existed, which is Bitcoin? So we talked about that. We're going to do things like that. We're going to do some educational stuff, some thought experiments, some discussions. So that's where you want to be for all that stuff, exclusively on Maple Bitcoin. Second one here is if you've been watching the channel for a little while now, you you'd know that we got a special project coming in 2026 that we've been kind of working on a little bit here. But one of the things I knew that I needed, just because this is a little bit more on my plate, I knew that I was going to be needing some help. So basically what I'm proposing here is I have a couple different, like, I wouldn't call them positions, but I have a couple different needs for people. So I'm looking for a couple different people for a couple different things. One's going to be to help me with everything we got going on here and help me build up the 8 Satoshis venture. Just help me wherever I need to with this channel, with the 8 Satoshi stuff. Somebody who's very organized. I need somebody who's very organized. Probably need about 5-6 hours a week, so it's not a huge time commitment. But I need somebody who's organized to help me with the 8 Satoshi stuff, plus a little bit with this channel and some other things we got going on. Maple Bitcoin maybe too. But about 5-6 hours a week, very organized, very structured, and willing to, point me in the right direction once in a while. So not a huge, responsibility, but somebody kind of in the background that can help me out a little bit. So that's one. Two, there's a brand new product here, and I don't want to say too much about it because it's very, it's in the health world. And so a guy reached out to me a little while ago to help him with it. So I agreed to do that. And the product is essentially like, what would I call it? I don't know. It's a health product though. And it's not like a bullshit health product, like a, what's the word I'm looking for here? I always forget this word. Placebo. It's not like a placebo thing. It has thousands of peer-reviewed studies, and it has a lot of professional athletes who have used this, including the fast guy from Brazil, I think. What's his name? The sprinter. He used it in the Olympics last year because it's totally legal. It's like it has a 10 to 15% performance enhancer. It helps with pain relief. It has a technology that goes into your blood by topical application. So NHL teams, there's one in every dressing room. I think it's Usain Bolt. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Usain Bolt. He used this in the last Olympics when he won the gold medal. This product, and it has been in development for about 20 years. It's only been used by professional athletes, and they're finally bringing it to like the retail market here for the average person to be able to use. So I'm thinking for like sports, just for overall performance, for people who are active, trades people, anybody who has a little bit of soreness in their life. This is supposed to be a cure to the pain plus added performance. So I'm very excited to be a part of this. It's brand new. It's not even on the market yet, but I need a couple people who are willing to sell it as well. So I'm going to be talking about a ton on this channel. It's actually who I'm going to have sponsor this show because it's essentially going to be me who's running it, not the company, but like the distribution for it here. So I don't have to like worry about, pissing anybody off or what the sponsors of the show say, anything like that. I can just do my own thing. But I need a couple people who are willing to work with it. So this one will probably be a little bit more time commitment, I would say, maybe 10, 12 hours a week. But the cool thing is this company is it's a Bitcoiner, and that's what got me involved in it. When I heard that it was a Bitcoiner who owns the company, I was in instantly. And so you're going to be able to sell this stuff to people within your network and actually be paid in Bitcoin for it. Not quite yet. They're still kind of building that in the background because this is all just brand new. But Bitcoin ties. So if you're interested in either one of those two things, just shoot me an email and we'll probably set up a time. I want a couple people for that, and then at least one person to kind of help me with some things on the channel and otherwise. So just shoot me an email here. And I did see there's a bunch of emails in this email. I was actually locked out of it until this morning. So I'm back. I'm back in the email. I saw a bunch of emails for people who are looking for the 8 Satoshis document that I mentioned. So I'll be getting that out this weekend for everybody who emailed. I don't think there's 88 yet. So if you still want to copy that, it's going to be a limited edition. Valuable or not, who knows? but I'm going to serial number each one of them for the first 88, and I'm just going to make it available for everybody after that. But if you want one that's serial numbered, kind of a collector, I don't know, just shoot me an email there if you're interested in either of those three things. That's the way to go. And be clear in your title too, because again, there's a lot of emails in there already. I'm going to have to take some time to sort through them. So if you're like interested in the first position, second position, getting 8 Satoshis PDF, put that in the title, just so I can sort through some of the BS in there. All right, what else we got here? I'm a little bit behind, but that's okay. Unzip Me says, I agree. I hope your channel does well. It's growing. It is growing. Not at a huge pace. And I think that it doesn't, the thing with my channels is like, it's not for everybody. I know that. And I'm good with that too. I think I've done a pretty good job over this last year of like, what did I call it? Trimming people or filtering people out of here. So it's not like it'll never be a mainstream channel, and I don't want it to be. It's more of a acquired taste, I guess you'd say. Because there's a lot of stuff that happens on these shows that aren't, up everybody's alley. But yeah, it's the people in here for sure that make this what it is. Cleaning Machine, yes, we do go live once a week. Unknown Disciple says, what happened to the Bitcoin Amigos? I've had a lot of people asking me this, and I just don't, have time. It's not really up to me to tell people what happened. So I've just been kind of pretty quiet about it. But it was nothing major. It was just the path that we were on everybody didn't necessarily agree with. And there was a couple different disputes. One thing led to another. And unfortunately, it's kind of just on the back burner now. So I wouldn't say that the Bitcoin Amigos are done and gone forever, but for a little while. Just a couple disagreements that we couldn't really move past. And so, instead of wasting a bunch of time trying to figure things out, we just said, we'll just move on. So it's on the back burner for now. It might make a return in the future, but no promises. But good news. That's what led to Maple Bitcoin. Rajat asked Forrest and I to make a few videos with him. And so we posted them, and there's a lot of comments saying, please do more of this. And so we did a couple more, and there's even more comments saying, start a channel. So that's what we did. It's good. It's good when there's market demand for it. Mikkel says, I love how we don't have shillers and altcoiners spamming the chat, and homies who are here in the chat every day helping new viewers out. 100%. I absolutely love that, because I think that between this channel, between this chat, live chat every day, but also the Living the Future chat that we have, the Signal chat, the thing I love about that is there's verification there, because when you're first getting into Bitcoin, it's a very scary and lonely place. You don't know anybody. You don't know who you can trust. There's a whole bunch of, you type one thing into Google or YouTube, it leads you down a whole bunch of different roads. So with this chat, I find it does a very good job of like verifying things, and even more so in the Living the Future chat. Like if somebody came in there, asked a question, and there's a bunch of people pushing different altcoins or different, sketchy projects or whatever, someone calls them out instantly. And so there's a verification system there. And in the sense that you should never trust people, but if you have a way to verify it like that through a chat or through a group chat, I just find that that's so much more productive overall and helpful for people. When you have people in there who are willing to call other people out on their bullshit, that's a good community to be a part of. So it happens here in the chat, and it happens in the group chat as well for Living in the Future. Nolan's putting together a 24/7 Bitcoin Rumble channel. Interesting. Maple Bitcoin would be perfect for that. Yeah, that's the thing that I'm most excited about. This is Maple Bitcoin is something that could be like a very mainstream channel. It could be. And I know from my experience with Forrest and Rajat that it's going to be done in a very well thought out way too. It's not going to be, taking the biggest bribe from the biggest company and trying to really blow it up. we're going to do things properly. And I think anybody who's been watching our videos and our channels, I don't really need to tell you that. I think that we've already built that trust with people, I think. So I do think that Maple Bitcoin is going to be a big channel in terms of like mainstream in Bitcoin. But this channel, 88 sats, will never be. It's just the reality of it. Like, I understand that. And I don't necessarily want this channel to be big because I want to keep having productive conversations without having to worry about who I'm pissing off, essentially. So, useful. Do I think Bitcoin is a weapon? Yes, absolutely it is. It's a weapon to the central bank system. That's what it was designed to do. That's what it was designed to be, a weapon against the central banks, to separate money from state. Every single issue in our society is caused by fiat money. You point to anything. I challenge you to find something in the world, an issue in the world that isn't caused directly or indirectly by the fiat dollar. Whenever you have a small group of people who has the ability to literally create money, that's when these things happen. And you could point to anything. You could point to crime. You could point to birth rates. You could point to the food quality. You could point to the incentives. You could point to our legal system. You could point to the pharmaceutical and health industry. You could point to homelessness, drug addiction. Every single issue in our society stems from a small group of people with the ability to create money out of thin air. And so when you take that away from them, everything changes. And I really believe that we're going to go through this transition here, just like we went through in 1971, when Nixon took the US off the gold standard. Nobody knew what happened there. Everybody watched it on TV, but nobody really fully comprehended what happened there when they did that. Fast forward 50 years and you can see the implications of that moment in history. And just like today, where we're moving off the fiat standard and onto a Bitcoin standard, the majority of people have no idea what's going on and how much it's going to improve things here. But it will happen with or without them. So people are just the average person's just going to gradually see their life get better and better and better. And it's all going to be because of Bitcoin. And the reason why Bitcoin matters here is because you cannot print Bitcoin. You can't create Bitcoin. Every single Bitcoin that has ever been created in the last 16 years has been done so with real world energy. None of it has been created. None of it has been gifted to friends, family, insiders. None of it. It's all been earned through proof of work, through actual energy. So we're going into this world now of scarcity, of proof of work. And people aren't going to know what's happening. They probably don't even know the reason for it, but they're going to gradually see their life get better and better here because of that. So I absolutely think it's a weapon. It's a gift to humanity, and it's a weapon against the central bank system. And again, don't confuse the central banks with your local bank on your street, on your street or in your block, or whoever you've been using for the last 20, 30, 40 years. That's not who's going to be affected by this. They're actually going to hold Bitcoin. They're going to want your Bitcoin. They're going to give you preferred rates when you deposit your Bitcoin there. We're talking about the central bankers, the Federal Reserve. Each country pretty much has its own central bank. That's what Bitcoin's going to destroy. So, fucking rights. We get to live through that. We get to live through it. I mean, that's just like that last 5 seconds there. That was like a little Tourette's moment for me. But that's why my channel will never have like 100,000 subscribers. Shit like that. But I'm okay with that. That's what I'm trying to get across here. I'm okay with that. Weapon for freedom, 100%. Why is my name green, boys? I'm thinking it has something to do with LockSky. LockSky probably got you a membership to the channel, Mikkel. Oh my God. I don't even want to talk about this because it'll ruin my morning. I'm so fucking tired of seeing Mark Carney everywhere I look. He's never been elected. He's never got one vote from a single Canadian, and he's all over the news and all over social media. It is disgusting what's happening here in Canada. And people have been asking me, Jor, would you be happy with joining the US? Yes, because shit like this, the corruption is so deep in Canada right now that we need it to just be blown up. Tone, good morning. Sorry, I'm too worked up here today. Rajat is goated. Rajat's a heck of a guy, very intelligent. He will have a very big channel, Rajat. He's a no nonsense kind of guy. He doesn't get too political. He doesn't swear on his channel. He does a very good job. Me, I don't. I'm horrible at that stuff. But again, I don't care. That's who I am. And I think that, if you want to be consistent and you want to earn people's trust, you have to be you. You have to be very genuine. And you can be one way for so long, but eventually people will figure that out, I think. Especially when you're doing daily videos. If I did a daily video every day for a year and a half, and I was trying to be somebody that I'm not, it would eventually crack. 100%. The only way you can be consistent and with whatever you're trying to do is by being yourself. Otherwise, people will figure you out. So, Ginger, good morning. Good morning. Fractal Chris was anti-Trump. That I will tell you that was absolutely not what caused it. Absolutely not what caused it. It had nothing to do with and I know this is a bot, and I don't know why I'm entertaining it, but it had nothing to do with that. It was just very unfortunate because we did get into like a debate essentially about the Trump coin on ended up being the last episode of the Bitcoin Amigos. So I'm thinking that there's a lot of people out there who believe that, our political disagreements or our political beliefs were the factor for it. It had nothing to do with it. Zero. Because it's not like Chris was a Democrat. And even so, like he never would have agreed to do a channel with us if he was. Jerry and I are both very blatant, supporters of Trump. So it wasn't a secret. It's not like Chris just found out one day that we were Trump supporters and he's like, oh, I don't want to be on the channel with these guys anymore. Had nothing to do with that. It was, there was a bunch of different things going on. It was kind of a buildup of a few small things that turned into a bigger thing. So anyways, thought the 69% of Bitcoin being held by individuals was an interesting statistic. Yes, it is very much so. And, if I quit blabbering about a bunch of different things here, we could get to that eventually. Yeah, it's insane. It's absolutely insane what's happening here in Canada. General population has always been oppressed due to lack of liberating technology. 100%. 100%. That's why we need to pay so much attention to the freedom aspect of Bitcoin. And that's why you notice, probably in the last 6 months, you've noticed that I've made a little bit of a shift from what we were talking about before to what we're focused more on with this channel. Every morning we used to go through the price. What's the price today? What's the price a year ago? What's the price 4 years ago? What's the sats per dollar? I don't care about that stuff anymore. I've honestly checked the price of Bitcoin maybe once this whole week. I don't care what the price is. There's way more important things that we need to be focused on within Bitcoin. Sovereignty, security, and just helping each other out. Anybody who needs help out there, we need to find a way to help them. We can't spend any time and energy on the people who aren't ready for Bitcoin yet. We have to focus all our time and energy on the people who are interested, have an open mind, and want to learn, want to get Bitcoin, want to secure that Bitcoin, and want to make sure they have that Bitcoin in 100 years from now. So that's what my focus is on. And we have to understand that when you're thinking about things like Nostr, Lightning, Liquid, eCash, these are all things you got to be doing. And I actually did I clipped it today. I'm not going to post it on the channel because there's information on there that I don't need to be public. But in the Bitcoin Q&A yesterday, and I love Bitcoin Q&A because I can talk I feel much more comfortable talking about stuff like this when we're not live on YouTube. But I talked about a couple different things you can do to actually take, how can I say this without triggering something? Be more private with your Bitcoin. We'll say that. If you have a long-term focus, if you compound it over day over day for about 4 or 5 years, you can make a lot of your Bitcoin private. Not just for the tax implications of it, but just for privacy as well. And that's what I'm working on. And that's what we talked about yesterday. I think it was about a 5 or 10 minute clip talking about that. But absolutely need to be paying most attention to the freedom aspect of Bitcoin, because that's the big idea here. There's a lot of ideas that a lot of big capital will care about within Bitcoin, but the thing that we need to be most concerned with is the freedom aspect of it. Morning, Scotty. Good morning. Okay, let's get to, actually, you know what? Let's give away some Bitcoin here first, courtesy of our friends at the Bitcoin Well, our favorite spot to buy Bitcoin by far. By the way, if anybody watching this either live or later is a user of Swan Bitcoin, I would highly suggest you stop being a customer. You can sign up today for Bitcoin Well, and you can make Swan Bitcoin a thing of the past. There's just too much negative press, too many lies and stories and fibs from Swan Bitcoin. I just do not trust them one bit. And the unfortunate thing here, this is the most unfortunate part. Swan Bitcoin is the biggest YouTube channel in Bitcoin. And one of the reasons why I was so excited about Maple Bitcoin, because I do see that being something similar to Swan Bitcoin, except with much different agenda. So that's my goal. I know Forrest and Rajat have very high hopes for Maple Bitcoin, but for me, I want to overtake some of these bigger accounts because I don't like what they're doing. And the leadership at Swan, I don't want to be, I don't want to get sued or anything here, but I've just heard too many bad things about Swan, how they conduct business, the lies they've told, and the leadership at the very top of Swan Bitcoin. So I would say if you are still using Swan Bitcoin, I would use this, take this warning seriously. Get yourself a new platform to be using. And I would suggest Bitcoin Well. If you're in the US and you've been using Swan, try out Bitcoin Well. I guarantee you're going to love this platform. Okay. Speaking of that, get your Lightning wallets out, press send, and point it at the screen here. And somebody's going to win some Bitcoin. Ready? Set. Go. Thought I froze there. Fucking phone here. $210. I was hoping I could look away and I'd look back and it'd be like 210,000 sats or something. We're on an absolute 210 cold of the year. We're on a cold streak. Big time coldie. You guys ever hear the term coldie before? We used to use it in college and university days. We're going to have to shut the door here right away. Arnie's, he can sense something's going on in the house. He sensed people are leaving here. So we'll give him a chance here, but we might be shutting the door on him right away. Okay, so that was from our good friends at Bitcoin Well. They do not pay me. They pay the community. Every single show we give away sats to somebody in the chat, and those sats are all courtesy of Bitcoin Well. So they do not sponsor me, which means my voice is not limited. I talk about this a lot, but I think it's so important. I really do. But they are an amazing exchange. They are Team Bitcoin. They've been around for a very long time. They don't hold your Bitcoin. They don't hold your dollars. So that's why I feel comfortable, promoting them, because there's going to be no liability for me here because they don't hold anybody's Bitcoin. So there's zero chance of rugging, which I love. So they're on Team Bitcoin, not Team Government. They are the lowest fees in North America from what I've seen. The lowest fees, which makes a difference if you're pinching sats like I am. And of course, the platform itself they have the most features out of any other Bitcoin platform I've seen before. You got recurring buys, which I strongly suggest people take advantage of. Recurring buys. You can pay bills. You can swap Bitcoin for free. You can use the Lightning Network, and they're rolling out a few new features here soon. So get yourself an account. Use bitcoinwell.com/Jor and get yourself some free sats for signing up. What was I going to say there? Oh, I made a post last night and actually shared it on the channel here as well, but maybe we'll just quickly share that. What was it now? Let me find it. Where is it? Where are you? Here it is. You know what? Let's bring it up. Let's bring it up on the screen. Why not? Let's go to Primal. Let's check it out. I'll get to some chats here. I feel like a psychopath every day until I'm in this chat and I feel an hour or two of sanity. When I first started this channel, that's exactly what I wanted to give people. Is just a place where they could feel sane for a little while. Because when I started this channel, the world was a lot different. A lot different. So I appreciate you saying that, Mikkel. That's again, that's the reason we started this. Okay, let's check out this tweet. It has to do with recurring buys, which you can do from Bitcoin Well. Let's bring this up. Let's check on the nostr. For anybody who might be unfamiliar with nostr, let's see how things look here. Look at that. Pretty nice little profile here. I'm not going to lie. Pretty nice looking profile. And I missed it. My 2-year anniversary on nostr was 2 days ago. And I didn't even post anything about it. Been too busy. But anyways, this is nostr. But this is the post I wanted to share today. It says top 3 ways to one whole Bitcoin. Top 3 ways to one whole Bitcoin, regardless of where you're at now. Number 1, recurring buys, daily or weekly. Number 2, adding real value on nostr. Number 3, a very long time horizon. So let's focus on this one first. This is what I was just talking about with Bitcoin Well. This is what I do. And this is a very easy way to compound your Bitcoin without even really knowing you're doing it. And again, that could be daily, that could be weekly, but set up some sort of recurring buy with Bitcoin Well, or Strike, I believe, has the same kind of thing. Maybe River as well. But definitely set up a recurring buy. Even if it's just a small amount, you're going to be getting Bitcoin and sats without even knowing about it. Automated. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about missing your day that you buy. You just set it up with your online banking. You set your amount and your frequency, and you're going to be buying sats for every week or every day. The second one here is adding real value on nostr. So whatever skills, whatever knowledge you have, get onto nostr and just start sharing it with people. And I mean, even this is a good example here. I don't know what the total zaps were on this. Not a whole lot, but 34 sats for this post on nostr. That'd be on the low end, but still 34 sats. And then this one's key. Whenever you're compounding in life, you have to have a very long time horizon. So give yourself 5 years, give yourself 10 years, and just be very consistent with it. That's why the recurring buy helps. That's why adding value helps. And of course, mixing an occasional smash buy into that equation, that's going to help get your numbers up as well. So I really do believe that every single person who's here watching this video right now does have a realistic chance to get one Bitcoin. It's going to be very hard, especially if you're just kind of starting out. It's going to be very difficult. But that's why you kind of have to have the mindset of a very long-term view and do things very consistently and compound that. Also get some free sats, sign up for things like ZBD, Smiles, Lolly Fold in the US, ShakePay in Canada, Fountain, Wave Lake, and just do that every single day. Set an alarm on your phone. Take like 10 or 15 minutes. You know, you could earn like 10, 100, 200 sats every single day, but do it for a very long time. That's going to be the best way to approach this from my perspective. So again, recurring buys, use Bitcoin Well, Strike, or River. I'll put some links below if anybody's unfamiliar with some of these companies I'm talking about. But I'll put Bitcoin Well, Strike, River, ZBD, Smiles. They'll all be in the show notes below if you want to start compounding some sats. Okay, missed a couple more here. J-Dog, good afternoon from the UK. Been enjoying your daily journeys. Thanks for all the endeavors. I like that you don't hold back and drop the occasional F-bomb here and there. Real life. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying this channel is definitely not for everybody, but it's for the right people in my mind. Yeah, governments always give back their temporary powers. Look at the TSA. No doubt. Anu, no swan. Agreed. No swan. And Wally just picked up 2 million sats. Holy, that's a big dent. That's a big dent. Also, you know what? Maybe I'll clip this and I'll add this in there as well for the people to see, you know, how obtainable this really is. Where did I put that now, though? Maybe that's, I might have to look a little bit harder. This spreadsheet is so long. We've done so many different spreadsheets and things on here. It's very hard for me to find things now, which is kind of annoying. I'm going to have to, we're not going to get to that today. But anyways, Bitcoin Well and Strike. Yep. 2 great companies. Yeah, news buzzing today. I like sats. Arnie movement detected. Hey, Jason, good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, we need much less elitists in our life. Okay, let's get to 9:18. Yeah, I don't have very much longer today. We got to leave in about an hour here. I see a couple new people have signed up for the 365 days of Bitcoin. I was kind of wondering when, you know, if people would join kind of in the middle here. But honestly, there's never been a better, more value to join this 365 days of Bitcoin. Because you sign up today, it's $21 a month, but you get already, first day you sign up, you get 43 days worth of Bitcoin videos, starting at day 0. So I would highly suggest anybody who's like trying to learn more about Bitcoin and round out their knowledge for security, for best practices, key management, UTXO management, all this stuff, inheritance planning. Today, you could sign up for $20 and get 40 videos about this stuff. So I see a couple people did sign up yesterday for that. So that's good. Plus, you're going to get the private Q&As. Plus, we're going to have a group chat here soon. Just have too many things going on right now. But there will be a group chat exclusively for the Club 365. So you can join that in the show notes below. It says join 365 if you're interested. Got to promote your own stuff. Otherwise, nobody knows about it. Okay, let's check this out. We're going to talk about some scarcity here. What do we got for time? Okay, we're all right. We're all right. So let's bring this up here. What we're going to talk about today is scarcity, and I'm going to show a tweet here from Van Eck. No, Bitcoin News talking about Van Eck, who did a bit of a breakdown of what kind of impact a strategic Bitcoin reserve bill would have when all these states start buying Bitcoin. There's been 17, I think. I think one of them failed so far, but the rest are just in the process of going through their, I don't even know what you'd call it, the process of, you know, changing laws and introducing things in government. I ignore government as much as I can, so I don't know all the terminologies. But anyways, they're talking about the impact of states buying Bitcoin. And on this channel, I've done a couple different breakdowns of who owns the Bitcoin today, what it could look like in 25 years from now, after countries, states, corporations, all these entities start buying Bitcoin. And I'm going to tell you, I was way off with my calculation. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here with this tweet, and then we're going to look at my spreadsheet and see how things, how wrong I was, essentially. So let's bring this up first. We'll start with the tweet, and then we'll talk about the impact of this. So this says, new VanEck's Matthew Siegel breaks down the impact of state-level bills, strategic Bitcoin reserve bills. If passed, they could drive 23 billion into Bitcoin purchases. That equates to just under 250,000 Bitcoin, or more than 1% of the total supply. So this is based on the state. This is based on their funding source and the potential investment of 10%, which I do believe will be about the starting point for a lot of these states if they're going to take this seriously. 1 or 2% isn't going to do anything for these states. So I do think that it's going to be at least 10% allocation. And then you get the potential investment and estimated Bitcoin here for a total of 242,000 Bitcoin. So now if we look at the spreadsheet that I had and kind of how I've been basing my whole thesis on here, I was way out to lunch. And let's see why that was. So basically what I did is I looked at what we have today. So you can see who owns the Bitcoin today. This is before any strategic Bitcoin reserves. We got public companies own just under 3%, ETFs, BlackRock's, they own about 6%, DeFi, pretty much irrelevant, under 1%. Private companies, 2%, and governments so far have about 2.5% for a total of 14%. Individuals currently hold 70 or 69% of Bitcoin. That is a very big deal, a very big deal for a lot of reasons. But then we got the lost coins, about 7%. These are estimated, and this number will go up. Left to be mined for the next 140 years. No, 100 years, sorry. There's 5% of the total supply, and then that's it. 5% left, and it's going to be probably flowing to these big corporations because they own the majority of the mining companies. So we can just assume that this 6% is going to flow right into the bad guys here, bringing their total to 20%. But this is where it gets interesting, because this is what my prediction was for the post-strategic Bitcoin reserve, where I said that probably in the next 25 years after these states, countries, and other companies adopt Bitcoin, this is what it might look like. So the public companies, I added about 500K to. ETFs, I added about 700K to, just based on their current balance and the rate that they've been buying Bitcoin so far. So that's 500, 700, 200 for private companies. I didn't give anything to DeFi because they're kind of irrelevant here overall. And then 2 million for governments. This is what we need to be paying attention to here. 2 million for governments. So if we scroll over a bit here, this is kind of what I based it on. I don't know what happened to these, why they're over in left field here. But I said that the US would get about 1 million coins. That's what the strategic reserve bill said, that they were going to acquire 200,000 Bitcoin for 5 years for a total of 1 million Bitcoin. China, I said they want to obviously compete with the US as a superpower in the world. They'll probably get about 0.3 million or 300,000 Bitcoin. Same with Russia and same with UAE. I really believe that China, Russia, and UAE already has this amount. They just haven't announced it yet. But what we just saw there was states. The states pretty much right off the bat will have about 250,000 Bitcoin. Oh, it's 2.5 million, 0.25 million Bitcoin, which I did not foresee in this calculation. That's a pretty big chunk. That's just under what I assumed that China and Russia would eventually get to. So if the states adopt this right away, and that's kind of like their first step into Bitcoin is like a 10% allocation, these numbers are going to be way higher than this. But we have to keep in mind here, to round this kind of theory out, that these coins have to come from individuals. There's no other source now that these can come from. So if the US government, if Texas wants Bitcoin, if the UAE wants Bitcoin, if Apple, Tesla, Nvidia, Meta want Bitcoin, it's all going to have to come from the individuals, because they're not going to come from the lost coins. And we've already factored in the to be mined coins going to these big entities. So they're going to have to come from the individual. So this is what it could look like. This is pretty much, I think, best case for individuals, is that in 25 years from now, our ownership shrinks from 70% to 55%. Best case. And so I just want everybody to really understand how scarce this Bitcoin is, because we're just talking about like 4 countries here and 15 states. And that's going to completely change the dynamic of ownership within Bitcoin. So, moral of the story here, and what excites me most about this whole Bitcoin thing and scarcity and what's driving it, is that if you understand that the longer you hold on to your Bitcoin, the less of it you're going to have to spend. The reason that works is because these big entities, the governments, the public corps, the hedge funds, the BlackRocks, they can only get Bitcoin from us. That's their only source now, other than the mining, but there's only 5% of coins left to be mined over the next 100 years. So that Bitcoin can only come from us. And the longer you hold out, the more they're going to have to pay, because they cannot print or create Bitcoin. It's the only asset that has ever existed like that before. So if they can't print it or create it, they have to get it from us. So they're going to run the price up to try to tempt people to sell their Bitcoin. They're going to get rid of the capital gains tax to try to tempt people to sell their Bitcoin. But the longer you hold on to it, the more frustrated they're going to get, and the more they're going to have to pay for it. And the more they pay for it, the less you're going to have to sell to meet whatever needs you have in your life. So it is an absolutely perfect scenario for the individual right now, if you understand it, if you have the conviction, and you're willing to hold on to it, regardless of what they're offering you. Because when you get to the point where you understand that there's real assets like Bitcoin, and there's fake assets like the dollar, once you get to that point, again, if you ask any Bitcoiner right now, the average Bitcoiner, what their price of Bitcoin is, it is much, much, much higher than $100,000. That's the people who are just getting into Bitcoin. That's the price that they're willing to pay for it. But the people who are going to be selling these coins to these big entities are going to want way more than that. I would honestly need about $100 or $100 million per Bitcoin for me to sell my whole stack. I might sell 2% if the price is right, maybe $1 million, maybe $5 million. I might sell another 2% if it gets to 50 million. But after that, my needs are met. And any Bitcoiner has been living, if you're anything like me, you've been living pretty frugally. Is that even a word? Pretty scarce. You haven't been wasting a whole lot of money. You just basically buy what you need and nothing in excess. And so when you're trying to tempt these kind of people into selling this real asset for fake assets, it's just not going to happen. So I really believe that over this next decade, there's going to come a time where people just stop accepting fiat dollars for Bitcoin. So in the future, if you want Bitcoin, you're either going to have to trade your time and energy. You're going to have to be hired by a Bitcoiner or a Bitcoin company, or just provide value to people and they'll give you Bitcoin in return for it. Or you're going to have to trade real assets for it. Land, gold, a house, a truck, something that's real, not dollars. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen very quicker than people think. And we haven't even scratched the surface on seeing how scarce this asset is. Once these big companies like Coinbase, MicroStrategy, these countries, these states start showing their proof of reserves and actually showing how much Bitcoin they have, and you can make a simple spreadsheet and see just how much Bitcoin is left for the other 99% of the world, we're going to see true absolute scarcity that we've never even thought of before. And it's coming soon. Absolutely coming soon. So that's what I want to talk about today. My phone died too. I had it plugged in and then I was doing something else and my phone is dead now. So Frugally is a word. Okay, good to know. Thank you for that. Okay. Did Binance sell 44,000 Bitcoin? They said they did not, but it was just a standard accounting process. Have you heard anything about this? I don't know. I have not heard anything about it. Anu says, just make sure you set your own personal UTXO stat amount before you transfer to your cold wallet. Good advice. Weekly DCA, 50% goes straight to the Bitcoin, 50% waits in fiat for a dip. That's pretty smart too. It's a good way to do it. Is AppStream working now? I don't know. Let's check it out. Mine isn't. But the website does at least load now for me. Let me try sats.gg and see what's going on there. You know what I'm going to do today? Well, it looks like Kieran's streaming from there right now. So working. I'm watching Kieran on here right now. Must be working. I must have just done something wrong. So good news is we'll be back tomorrow, hopefully. And we can pull ourselves out of poverty here. Good morning, Laughpad. Good to see you, my friend. New Hampshire's on the list. There's a lot of states on there. Japanese medical group purchased 1 billion yen worth in Bitcoin this week. I saw that, and I saw that there's also a Japanese gaming company who spent about the same on Bitcoin. I think it was a little more than that, actually. So they're taking note of the Metaplanet strategy over in Japan. Metaplanet's been absolutely insane. But it just goes to show you again, look at Metaplanet as the canary in the coal mine here. All this big capital who cannot buy Bitcoin wants to buy Bitcoin so badly that they're willing to pay 2 to 3x for it in shares. Think about that. That's exactly what's happening with MicroStrategy right now. The people who want to buy Bitcoin can't buy Bitcoin yet, so they're willing to pay 2 to 3x more via shares to have exposure to Bitcoin. Which to me suggests that if this big capital was able to buy Bitcoin today, the price of Bitcoin would be $200,000 or $300,000 just based on that fact alone. So you look at companies like Metaplanet, you look at companies like MicroStrategy, people should see that as the canary in the coal mine here for what's coming. This big capital, these big pools of money and capital want to buy Bitcoin. They just can't yet. It's not in their regulations for their corporate structure. They aren't allowed to hold Bitcoin. So they're using things like MicroStrategy and Metaplanet to get access to it. And they're willing to pay 2 or 3x premium on top of that, which to me suggests that that fact alone, Bitcoin should be $200,000 or $300,000 today, because that's what these big entities are essentially willing to pay for right now in terms of share ownership, though, instead. Pretty crazy that the average person is just missing out on this. Jor, what would it take for you to move to the US? Wondering what Canada would have to do to make you leave. I will say this, if the Liberals win the election here in 2025 in Canada, I will be either gone or spending way less time here in Canada. I don't want to leave Canada though. I don't think we should give up on it. I don't think it's going to happen. I do have a lot of hope for Canada, but if the Liberals somehow manage to win another election here, I'm gone. Oh, look at this. 27 out of 50 states. Wow, I was way behind there. I thought it was still 17. Why do I have a Bitcoin channel if I'm that far out to lunch? That's a question. Yes. Anu says, we the people, Bitcoiners, must overcome the idea that we are safer alone. We are not. Exactly. That's why having Bitcoin communities, Bitcoin networks are so incredibly important in so many different aspects, this being one of them. Okay, I got to hit the road here right away, folks. What about the 51% rule? What would happen if individual ownership was under 51%? Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's why we need to take the shit seriously, because this could easily get away from us. Easily. It's either going one or two ways. We're going to make them pay insane amount of money for Bitcoin that they're not going to be able to have any influence over it. That's the beauty of this. We're in control. If you have Bitcoin in self-custody right now, you are absolutely in control of the future. And don't take that lightly. But the longer you wait, the more they have to pay, the less they get, and the less you have to spend. Very simple. And one of the main reasons for having this channel is to help people grow conviction for holding Bitcoin. For when this time comes, and it's going to come fast, they're going to tempt you to sell Bitcoin. You know what you're holding. Jay Bella, you're the best. I follow you always for a long time now. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Love comments like that. Thank you. You guys need to buy a BitAxe to help fight that 51%. Jay says, I bought the BitAxe. It's a lemon. And reflash it, something a little bigger. Yeah, I'm going to get a couple more too. Mine's still running, but I want to add more. Want more. BitAxes are awesome. Good learning experience, good contribution to the network. And it's like buying a lottery ticket, pretty much. So Daniel says, I love my future bit Apollo miner. I actually want to get one of those too, Daniel. That's kind of the next step for me. So I think we're going to leave it there. I got to hit the road here. Oh my goodness. That hurt. I'm going to hit the road here. So today is Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. We're not going to do a show tomorrow morning. We're going to do a Friday show with beers. So make sure you get your phones out right now. Mine's dead. But get your phones out. Put it in the calendar tomorrow. I don't know what time. The first person in the chat to suggest a time for tomorrow afternoon, that's when we'll do it. How does that sound? It's kind of a stupid proposal from my perspective, but we'll see what happens with it. So the first proposal for a time reasonably tomorrow, that's when we'll do our afternoon stream. Anu said, come to the, what's this? if you need to get out of Canada. I suspect the swamp here will be cleaned up in the next few years. What's United? I don't know. I don't know what stands for. 3 p.m. Okay, let's do that. 3 p.m. Jay was the first one to get it. Beer 30, that works for me too. Let's do 3 p.m. My time. Have to do that, which would be 4 p.m. Eastern time. So get that in your calendars tomorrow. 4 p.m. Eastern time. Daily Bitcoin Journey, Friday edition. Arnie will be here. The boys will have the place to ourselves. Things are going to get wild. And looking forward to it. So again, I know that there were some people yesterday when the Zap's been down. People have been sending money to Arnie here. So thank you for that. I don't have the phone on me today either, but I'll give a couple shout outs tomorrow if you're sending a Zap to Arnie today. Where is this thing? I don't know where it is, but that's the best way to do it. So if you want to give some back to the show, if you learned anything today, if you've been enjoying the channel here and you want more of it, you can fund this bozo. Make sure Arnie grows up and has a nice, wealthy family that he can't have now because we took away his ability to do that. So anyways, everybody have yourselves an amazing day. Thank you in advance to everybody who sent in a Zap. I'm sorry I didn't have it here today. I thought the Zaps were working. So that's it for today. We're going to have Fat Zap Friday tomorrow afternoon, 4 p.m. I hope to see every single one of you here. We're going to have some fun. So have a great Thursday, everybody, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Bye-bye.